What's up, guys? How's it going, y'all? Whew. Are you ready for the season? Are you ready? We're this close, guys. It's freaking Wednesday. So we got Thursday, Friday, and boom, Saturday's here. We're 3 days away now. I cannot wait for Bowling Green. Yes, it's Bowling Green. I'll get into a preview of them here in a little bit. This is going to be a longer video than usual. I have to condense my depth chart opinions, my Bowling Green preview, and my seasonal preview. I'm just not going to have time to record a Bowling Green preview between now and the game. So this is what you're going to get. I hope y'all enjoy it. Um, as y'all know that follow me or that have been watching my channel for years, you all know I love the depth chart. I love getting my depth chart. I love looking at it and seeing what the coaches feel like is the best team that we can put on the field. Obviously, Justin starting. Doi, Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. A lot of people picking him already to win. So Marcus was the favorite when he came back, and now Justin's the favorite in some people's minds to win it this year. We'll see. Obviously, we need to win for him to have a chance. And right now, sitting at it, I believe this team can go 9-3, 10-2. Um, I made a bet with somebody, or I didn't make a bet, but I just said, if we win 11 games, I'll eat 11 cheese sticks on camera because he thought we could win 11 games, beating both Washington and Stanford. And I'll be honest, those games don't terrify me as much as some people might think. Both of them at home. I like our chances at home under Coach Cristobal. I don't think Cristobal's going to be a coach that loses many home games. Getting into the depth chart, the most interesting thing to me is when you get to the offensive line. You got Penei Sewell, Calvin Throckmorton, and George Moore, all oars to start at left tackle. And same thing for right tackle. You go down to that spot. You got, again, Penei Sewell, Brady Aiello, and Calvin Throckmorton mentioned in that. So what I think is honestly going to happen is you're going to have a freshman, Penei, starting on the line somewhere. Is it at left tackle? Maybe at some point in the season he starts at left tackle. I could definitely see that happening. He's a very talented freshman. What I think is honestly going to happen is they're going to throw him into right tackle, see how he does. They're going to put Calvin, the senior guy, on left, and go from there. Penei is a very talented freshman. He could easily start at left tackle, but for his first game, I think they're going to start him out at right, throw the senior guy on left, and as the season advances, maybe flip-flop. They've been rotating offensive linemen all camp, so I don't think we're ever going to really have, maybe until Pac-12 starts, we're not going to have a set-in-stone offensive line. They're going to be rotating guys and see who is just better fitted to play what position because honestly, we have a lot of guys who can play different positions, so I'm okay with that. Same thing when you get into the linebacking core, one of the biggest question marks of the defense. You got Isaac Slade, Malawada, I believe is his other, yes, and Apelu as oars for the other, for the other linebacker spot next to Troy. Isaac Slade is a guy that Levitt loves. He wishes he could play him last year, but they wanted to redshirt him. So this is a guy that he's super duper excited about. So honestly, they might start Apelu because before he got hurt, Apelu was the guy that was playing most of the downs. So they might start out with Apelu and then slowly transition Isaac in. But by the end of the season, I expect Isaac to be playing most of the downs at Mike. And obviously, you got Troy, and Troy's great. Troy's an All-American. And then at the other end, you got Lamar, and I believe Keith Sims is his backup. So Keith Sims, a guy that's kind of been in the program for a minute, hasn't really had his chance, so maybe he can get a few extra reps here and there. And also, the interesting thing, for those of you that don't follow Fall Camp as closely as I do, they're working Jalen Jelks out at that offensive outside linebacker spot as well. So they're going to really try and mix and match where to put people and how to get their best players on the field for situational downs. Going into the secondary, I think this is a very talented secondary. Now, depth is going to be an issue. You're very young. You got Lenore, Graham, Ugo Amadi, the senior guy, and you got Nick Pickett at the other safety spot. Again, very, very talented up top. And then you get down to a lot of freshmen and sophomores who you don't really know how they're going to play. Vernon McKinley, Halasi, and Javon Holland, another freshman, are both guys. All three guys are kind of pushing themselves to that too deep-esque type of play. So we'll see where they balance things out. Again, in the first 3 games, the preseason, I think it's going to be a lot of rotating. Everyone's going to be like, who's playing this down, who's playing that down, and they're just going to be throwing guys in there based on how they perform in practice, how they perform in games, and they're really going to try and see who fits best in what situations and go from there, which against these opponents, I'm perfectly fine for. We don't have a big time non-conference opponent this year, so there's not a lot of stake in our preseason games. So you can go ahead and throw those guys in there and really see them in game and see how they perform and get a better stake of where they'll fit in Pac-12 play. Overall, I'm very happy with the 2 deep, but there's not like one hole that I'm just like, oh man, that's it. That's our weakness right there, because as long as we stay healthy, I think this is a very talented team. This team can run with anybody in the Pac-12, in my opinion. Another interesting thing is at the running back spot, you got Tony Brooks-James, is going to be the starter, the most senior guy on the team. But behind him, nobody is named as the true backup. All guys are based off situational, so that means you got C.J. Verdell. Cyrus is another back that is getting a lot of love right now. Darian Felix, he's played a little bit. So they're going to have to see where guys fit in best. The guy I'm looking out for is C.J. Verdell. I think he's the future of Oregon running back after Brooks. After he leaves, I think C.J. Verdell, it's his job to lose after Tony leaves. So we'll have to see how he plays this year. Darian Felix is going to be another guy that challenges him for that spot. Also, Travis Dye is another guy that's going to get reps. When and where, we don't know yet. Going into the season, obviously, the first 3 games, wins. Bowling Green, we're beating Bowling Green. It doesn't matter to me by how much, 35 to 50 points, fine. Like, I don't care if they score a few points. I don't care if we give up some yards to Bowling Green. First, third head coach in 3 years. I'm not gonna worry about how tight we are, because this program is still trying to figure itself out. Yes, I think we're in the right direction with Cristobal, obviously. But this program, this team is still, I think, trying to work some bugs out. And that's just going to come in reps, honestly. Portland State and San Jose State obviously going to want to see cleaner games at each level getting into Pac-12 play. And then you start out with Stanford, very first Pac-12 game of the year at home. 4 home games to open the year. Very favorable schedule. What I would honestly do if I was Cristobal, and being a Nick Saban disciple, he might be smart enough to figure this out, and maybe Nick has done this or not. I don't know how Nick runs his program. But what I would do is, yes, Portland State and San Jose State, you have to respect your opponent to a degree. But those are teams that Oregon could throw their second string, third string out there and win. I honestly would start implementing a little bit of my game plan for Stanford in those next 2 weeks before the game. And why I would do that is because you can never be too prepared for a team like Stanford. Now, I do think they're starting a new quarterback this year. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me, but that's what I think is happening, because I think Chris transferred. I thought I heard that somewhere. They're always good on the offensive, defensive line. They always have good tight ends. They always seem to have one of the just linebackers that come out of nowhere and destroys everybody. So I'm sure we'll get some of that. But honestly, with the 3 easy games beforehand, and with it being our first Pac-12 game at home, I really like our chances to come out there with a W. Will it be an easy win? No, nothing in the Pac-12 is going to be easy. You're going to have to earn every win. Then you go down and you got Cal on the road. Cal is a team that I think a lot of people are falling in love with, because it's Cal, and you got Justin Wilcox and a new coach, and everybody wants to see Cal win, because Cal used to be good back in the day when they had Marshawn Lynch and not Tavon Austin. What's that other receiver for them that they beat us with one year at Austin? I forget his name. But Cal, you're not ready yet. Will you be ready in a couple years? Probably, maybe. I don't know. Depends on how good Wilcox can recruit. Then you get a bye before Washington. Huge in my opinion. Absolutely massive to get a bye week going into a rival at home. Not only do you get a bye week, but you get them at home. That's 2 straight weeks you can sit in your home turf, practice, and get ready for Washington. Absolutely massive. That, I feel, is the edge that we need. Not only are we at home and we're talented, if we stay healthy those first 5 games, we are beating Washington. we are beating Washington this year. We probably would have beat them last year if we had Justin. It just wasn't in the cards to have Justin for that game. Yes, they beat us 70-21 2 years ago. Congratulations, that was 2 years ago. I'm really excited about Washington. I feel like this team is ready to start beating Washington again. I know the fans are ready to start beating Washington again and get back to our winning ways against the Huskies. Oh, and go Auburn. Then you got Washington State and Arizona on the road back-to-back. Those are two 50-50 ball games. Washington State lately has had our number. They did whatever they wanted to do with us some years, and Washington State's one of those teams. Yes, they lost a quarterback this year, but they're just one of those tough teams, especially playing up in the Palouse. Well, it's one of those weird stadiums that you just never know what you're going to get. It's hard to beat them. So that's a 50-50 ball game. Arizona, a place Oregon fans hate, and for good reason. We all know why. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to knock on some wood, and we're going to move on. We don't like playing in Tucson. There's that. 50-50 ball game. Is Khalil Tate? Oh, yeah, Khalil Tate. You're not a Heisman Trophy candidate. We proved that last year. We figured you out. UCLA. Chip. We'll give you a welcome home party, and then we're going to beat you. You're not ready, Chip. You're not ready yet. You just lost Rosen. You're not ready yet. Maybe next year you'll be ready. Then you got Utah on the road. Another 50-50 ball game. We all know how Rice Eccles is. Heck, championship year. We went up there and had a dogfight for 2.5 quarters. Had an absolute dogfight, and who knows if Kalen Clay doesn't drop that ball, they go up 14-0. Who knows what happens? They could have won that ball game just as easily as we did. Then you got Arizona State at home. Again, I don't think Cristobal is going to be a guy that loses a lot of home games. And a team like Arizona State, a team we should have beat last year if it wasn't for penalties, and Cristobal is big on cutting down penalties, so let's hope that gets figured out by that time in the season. Cristobal's big on that. So if we cut down our penalties from last year, that's a team we beat. We had Justin, we had all the things rolling for us. On the road, yes, that's no excuse. Should have won that game. And we should win it this year. So, and then you got the little sister, Oregon State. It doesn't matter, it's on the road. We're going to steal their soccer stadium from them and fill it up just like we do every year we play down there. So that's a wash. That's game's over. So right there you got Wazoo, Arizona, and Utah as 50-50 ball games for me. But not so much Wazoo. Wazoo, I think, will be a nice, easy one with them losing their quarterback tragically. But Utah and Arizona are going to be really tough. Stanford and Washington, I'm not afraid as of them as a lot of people think we should be. Do I think they could beat us? Yeah, they could beat us. But both games at home, one of them coming off a bye, the other one you have basically 3 free weeks to prepare if you want to, because the 3 games before them, you could throw out your third stringers and you'd win. So going into it, this is a 10-2, 9-3 season. Maybe somebody jumps up and gets us somewhere that we're not expecting. If we win 11 games, though, man, if we can make it back to a Pac-12 championship game, first year in the Cristobal, I'll be all the more elated, trying to keep my hopes and expectations at realistic level. 10-2, 9-3 is where I think we should be at. And that's it for me. As always, go Ducks. Got Bowling Green on Saturday. Gonna be a cakewalk. Gonna be fun to see the boys in action. Obviously, the goal is stay healthy, get the rust off, and get ready for Portland State. Portland State's an 11 o'clock kick, so I will probably be doing a live stream, so stay tuned for that. As always, guys, again, go Ducks. Have a great Saturday, and just rock Autzen for me.